Amazing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Centrals and Mexico sourcing call for 2026. I'm going to give another second or so for people to log in so that everybody gets the full information. But just a heads up, we are recording this call. So this call will be available in full to watch on YouTube later today and into perpetuity. So yeah, we're going to be discussing the coffee coming from Central America and Mexico, and kind of the status of where the harvest is at this point. We're going to look over some coffees that we have on the Algrano platform. We're going to get a little platform demo from someone on our team, and I'll go through all of this more later. But also, just to let you know, we're going to have plenty of time for questions and answers at the end of this call. So if you have questions throughout the call, please put them in the question and answer section here on Zoom. So that way we can keep track of them and make sure to answer all of the questions. And as we get started, let me know who you are and where you are from in the chat feature so that we can all, yeah, say hello, see who's with us today. Otherwise, I'll give an introduction. I'm Kat Melheim, Roaster Ambassador at Algrano. You may know me from Instagram or YouTube as RoasterKat. And I've been working with Algrano for almost 2 years, at least, yeah, between a year and a half and 2 years now. I started on the marketing team, and now I'm part of the growth team, which is focused on creating education, connection for roasters between the information we have in our team and roasters so that you can do direct sourcing better, more confidently. You can plan. So the idea behind these calls are that we have shared shipments. Basically, if you're ordering smaller volumes than 100 bags, you can put it in a shared shipment. And we're having these calls about 2 months before shared shipments close. So you get insight into the harvest, the coffees that are available, and how to order them. So yeah, that's a little background about the call. We will start to mosey on. So, well, here we go. The goals for this call, in addition to all the context I just gave, we're going to learn the context of the coffees we're talking about. We want to gain insight onto the harvest from 2025-26 for Central American coffees and Mexico. We're going to learn what coffees are available on the platform, on the Algrano platform, and why or why not some coffees might or might not be available. And we'll touch base with the Algrano team because our team is full of people who have deep knowledge and really a lot of insight into what's happening with these coffees, with these origins, etc. We also want to understand the offers. So this is a really actionable call. I like to create things that are actionable, not just like theoretical. So we're going to learn how to search on the Algrano platform for coffees from Central America and Mexico. We're going to get tips from our lab, our QC, head of QC, about what coffees are really like standing out right now and what they might be best used for, what their applications. And we want to really make sure that you roasters feel confident in sourcing your coffee and planning your coffee. At Algrano, we focus on forward buying, which means that you're buying the coffee when it's still in the origin country. So that's great in some ways because it's going to be super fresh, but it also requires a little bit more planning ahead. You need to look at the shipment timelines to make sure that you get the coffee when you need it, etc. So we want to make sure that you have the tools you need to feel confident in your sourcing and your planning. And we want to take action. Again, actionable, so that you can search for the coffees on the marketplace. You can order samples of the coffees you're interested in because you want to taste the coffee before you buy it. Pablo, our head of QC, is very, very trustworthy, but you want to verify as well, you know? And then we want to show you how to place orders before the shipments close. And we'll show you how to reach out to support if you have additional questions or need clarification on things. So those are the goals for the call. And yeah, if you have questions about that, again, put that in the Q&A section here. So first, I want to introduce you to the team that's going to be with us today. We have Vanessa, who is on our sourcing team. She works really closely with producers in Central America and Mexico to bring coffees onto the platform to support the producers in what they do. Vanessa, do you want to pop in and say hello?
Of course. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Yes, so Vanessa from the sourcing team and also based in Brazil. Nice meeting you all.
So if you have questions about anything sourcing related, again, put that in the Q&A and Vanessa will be available to answer those. Then we have Pablo, our head of our QC lab. He's the one who roasts all the samples, checks all the quality, etc. Pablo?
Hello, everyone. Nice to be back doing the second round webinar.
And we have Cecile on the growth team. She is going to be doing our platform demo. Cecile?
Hey everyone, so yeah, Cecile from the growth team. I'm walking along with cats, and I'm based in France. Happy to have you here.
And we have Mo, who is our support specialist. So she is, when you're on the platform, when you're at algrano.com, if you talk to the chat feature on the website, Mo is the person who answers you immediately, directly. Do you want to say hello, Mo?
Sure. Thanks, everyone. And hi, everyone. Glad to be part of the webinar today. My name is Maureen, working as part of the support team at Algrano, and I'm happy to respond to all your queries. Yeah, great.
Awesome. So yeah, again, if you have questions as we go through in any of these categories, please put them in the Q&A and we'll get to them. And let's go along. The agenda for this call, we're going to talk through origin insights with Vanessa. Central America is a huge region. There are many countries and many producers that we work with on Algrano. So Vanessa will give us some origin insights and a look into the status of harvest and coffees that are coming out of the Central American countries as well as Mexico. Then we'll go with Pablo into the lab and he'll talk to us about offers available on the platform and his personal recommendations. This is one of my favorite sections of this webinar because I mean, whenever I go to Zurich for Algrano stuff, our headquarters is there. I bug Pablo all the time. I'm just like sitting in the lab constantly because I mean, that's why we're coffee roasters, right? We want to talk coffee. So Pablo gives us a lot of insight into those recommendations. Then Cecile will walk us through a platform demo. So the Algrano website, where to click to search for these coffees, what search terms to look for, where to see when shipments leave and when like the closing date of shipments is. And then we'll have time for a Q&A. Again, all of the folks in our call are available to answer the questions. But Mo from the support team has a huge breadth of knowledge about everything on Algrano. So Mo will be there to answer questions. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this call, like screenshot this, where is it? There we go. Screenshot this slide because this is the kind of important actionable piece where you need to know when to place your orders by in order to get your coffee into shipments. So we have on the left here the origin country, and then we have usually one shipment going to the EU via Bremen, and we have one going to the United States, mostly through the Annex in California. And then you want to look at when to order samples. Really, for all of these countries, right now is the best time to order samples because you want to allow time for the samples to arrive to your roastery, to sample roast them, to cup them, and then to place your orders. Coffees can also sell out if you don't get your orders in soon enough. So if you're looking for coffee from any of these countries, order your samples right now so that you have time to do all of that. And then we have the place order by. So that's the container closing date. Honduras is first with a May 10th closing date. And the other countries here are closing on the 15th. I feel like that sounds so far away, but like tomorrow is April and then May is right after that. So you want to give yourself adequate time to place your orders so that you don't miss the opportunity to order these coffees. And then we have arrival dates. You can also find arrival dates on the platform, and I think Cecile will show us where to do that as well. Great. So on to Vanessa for Origin Insights.
Awesome. Yeah, so as Kat mentioned, Centros and Mexico, so we'll go to a lot of countries. And I will start with the one that worried us the most this season, which is Costa Rica. So Costa Rica actually undergoed a very significant correction after last season. So last season was a high production of coffees, and this season we saw the volume actually drop dramatically. So some producers, they actually reported 50% less production in some regions, particularly in the higher altitudes. And the harvest is also ended up finished quite earlier than usual. So this is not due to efficiency of harvest peaking, but basically reflecting the less available coffee amount. So these shortened the window of sourcing and also increased the competition for the securing coffees, right? So we saw much less producers also offering in the platform because most of them were either already sold for the season or didn't have enough volume to be offering. In terms of quality, Costa Rica continues to perform quite well. So we have the composition of offer with just a bit less volume, but the standard qualities and the profiles and consistency that roasters are used to. So the most important for roasters, I think, is who rely mainly on the Costa Rican standard cup profiles is regarding the availability, which is much tighter and require an earlier engagement. And from producer perspective, so this is common among all the producers is after this record crop from last season, this season is significantly smaller, which is kind of expected, right? So coffee, we have this bienniality of the coffee. When you have like a very year with a higher production, it tends to correct itself on the second year. And also they struggle with the operational challenges as well. So the labor, the pickers, they were arriving expecting a full harvest, but then the volume was limited. So it became quite hard for producers also to retain workers at the farm level. So in summary, Costa Rica this year, it's about a tight supply, but strong quality and faster decision, I think, from roasters on the key lots. And moving to Nicaragua, so also facing a bit of a constrained harvest this year. We were not expecting Nicaragua actually to have this drop in volume. So when we started conversations with producers back in October and November, it was looking quite positive. And then it came into December and January, and they actually started reporting that they would have much less than they were expecting. So some producers reporting like 30% less production, which kind of impacts also the significantly the substitution of lots. So this also reflects the offers that we have available in the platform. So the number of producers that we were expecting ended up not offering because some of them were already sold out or didn't produce what they were expecting. And yeah, so timing was also quite uneven for Nicaragua. We usually have samples available in December, so the harvest was not progressing in a smooth way and in a predictable way, but rather staggered in waves. And this was also reflecting the offers and the availability of samples in the platform as well. So this means that coffees that would normally be available at the same time, they arrived in either smaller volumes and also in a more staggered way. And despite these constraints, I think quality-wise, we're still quite consistent. So maintaining the standard Nicaraguan profiles just with a bit more less volume to work with. As a summary, where they report production being around 30% less than expected, also reinforces the same message as Costa Rica, right? Which is a year that roasters should start to commit a bit more earlier and have a more careful planning for this origin. Then we go to Guatemala, which is actually very positive, so very stable in terms of volume. Production also expected to be very similar to last year, or even a bit more higher in production. But their season still presents some complexities on the operational side. So the harvest timing was slightly earlier, but about 1 to 2 weeks historically when compared. But this means that even though picking started quite earlier, some coffees still took a bit longer to become available in the platform, and also samples are still coming in into the platform as well. The main concern for Guatemala was regarding more labor, producers reported. So the shortage of labor availability, also the cost of these labors, which also increases the cost of production. But regarding quality, the main worries from producers was actually the short of labor impacting the quality, in a sense that the cherries will not be picked up in time and will be left in the trees, impacting the number of defects and also the cup profiles. But samples who arrived, we saw same consistency and good qualities as well. So producers, they responded to this, maybe having more defects on the sorting of the coffee to maintain the quality standards. As a summary for Guatemala, I think offers are relatively stable in volume from producers, and more challenging on the operational side due to the labor shortage, and producers paying close attention to quality so they can keep this consistency of the offers. And El Salvador also showing like a modest rebound from the past season, but volumes are still below the historical volumes that you have in many regions. And while some regions are actually recovered in volumes, the supply in general, when you see the offers that we have in the platform, for example, are relatively tight. The harvest also came quite uneven, so following the broader regional pattern. So coffees, they actually didn't become available all at once, but rather also in these waves of availability, which impacts, of course, the lots that can be sampled. So quality remains, I think, a strong focus on producers. So they continue to prioritize high quality coffees and the standard El Salvador profiles. The key dynamic for El Salvador, I think it's more also regarding the timing of recommendation, following the same origins as above, right? So buyers who move earlier have better access to the better lots, and also secure the availability of these coffees. In summary, overall, El Salvador presents this combination of improving the production, keeping the quality and the consistency, while going also to these constraints on the timeline and the constant flow of availability of the coffees. And Honduras, I think from Centros, summarized the most positive one for this season. So it's an origin that actually reported an increase in volume overall. So an average of 10% increase from the producers that we spoke with. Also a bit earlier in the season. So Honduras, they actually started picking up the coffees a bit earlier, 4 to 6 weeks ahead of normal, and create a unique situation where coffees were available much earlier and ready to ship also earlier than expected, with some producers already committing to shipment in December, earlier January, which is quite unusual for this origin. However, I think regarding quality, very positive, especially compared to last season, where coffee suffered a little bit of a drought affected. So this season is looking a bit better in cup profiles as well. So keeping consistency. And the same as Guatemala, Honduras also face quite operational challenge regarding labor as well, which ends up impacting the picking efficiency for some producers that might affect or might not affect the quality as well if they stay too long in the tree. Despite this, I think overall quality expectations quite good and producers actively managing the risks as well. And in summary, Honduras is an origin that offered this increase in volume. So you have plenty of availability from Honduran coffees and great qualities, and making this a strategic origin for roasters who want to purchase centros a bit earlier in the season as well. And going up to Mexico, so Mexico also another example of these staggered waves of offers. So harvest also a bit uneven and the season delayed. You can see also because we don't have all the offers that we were expecting in the time that we should expect them for this season. So there is no actually harvest peak this year in Mexico. Instead of this, producers, they are experiencing this stop-start dynamic and with a short period of activity and also followed by this slower ripening of the cherries. So this resulted actually in coffees being ready in different times. So you have some offers that are already available, some producers that could already send samples, and some that are still waiting to have the samples and the offers ready. And volumes also reported in the end to be a bit lower than expected. So some producers reporting 20 to 25% smaller production compared to last season. But quality-wise, from the samples and the coffees that we already have available, remains quite stable, and producers also reaffirmed that. And the challenge is more logistic wise, and also this staggered availability rather than the quality. And the key takeaway from Mexico, I think, is to plan for this uneven availability of offers, right? Some offers already available and some not. So roasters can make the right decision. So going to the next one, yes. So as a general overview from Algrano, when it comes to the quality, right? So starting with the quality, this is actually one of the most consistent messages across all origins, right? Is that even with lower volumes in the majority of centros, labor challenges and the financial pressure from producers as well, quality remains a priority for everyone. So we don't actually have an origin that is struggling quality-wise, but they are rather keeping the consistency. And yeah, and the challenge is to keep this consistency is mainly that some origins are coming into this wave. So coffee is arriving on different times and lots are being processed separately. And the staggered availability of samples as well. So in Algrano, we see this that we have strong individual lots in some origins, but more variability between them. So you see maybe lower availability of Costa Rica, but then you have already Mexico, and then you have already Nicaragua. So if you gather all of them, you'll see that they are coming in separate and not usually, as we expect, all producers from a same origin offering all at the same time. And regarding organic, so we do have some organic availability, especially from Mexico and Guatemala. It's not a lot of lots available, but I think it's a great availability, although in volume. So we do have producers that can offer organic at larger volumes, which is quite a positive outcome. And this actually brings us to the biggest structural shift for this year, which is how offers appear on the platform, right? So instead of the traditional flow that we usually have in Algrano, where many lots from the same origin becomes available at the same time, we now have this wave pattern with some lots coming earlier, some coming mid-season, and some coming a bit later. And coffees that usually would move together are now kind of split across the time. And how producers are also handling these higher prices, right? So finally going to the pricing, they started this season with the market quite high. So the C market was, the global market prices was quite high, and then producers needed more liquidity to also operate. And now comes to this point in the season where the prices have eased slightly since, but structurally we are still in the high cost environment. So for producers, they still have this high cost of production because of the labor cost, because of the lower volumes also in the key origins, and the tighter access to working capital. So this reflects the offers that you see in the platform. Continued price with this pressure, especially on the high quality lots, and also the less maybe availability of very cheap or more commercial coffees that you will see with more competitive prices. But the key nuance is that the price risk this year, I think, is less actually about price itself, but more about the availability risk because some origins are struggling with the overall volume. So I think the strategy here, just to summarize, is that roasters should not actually wait for the best price, but rather secure the coffees at the right time so they can assure that they have what they need in their portfolio.
Awesome. Thank you, Vanessa. That's a lot of information for you roasters. So if you have follow-up questions about any of those origins, volumes, quality, etc., please put those in the Q&A and we'll get to those. But yeah, this is there's a lot to digest there. As Vanessa said, though, key takeaway is secure the coffee while it's available. So again, order those samples ASAP. Now we're moving on to offers and recommendations from Pablo in the Quality Lab.
Hello, everyone. So to begin with, in the first slide, I simplify quality in three categories. 80-23, used for more for blends. 83-25, more as a single espresso. And 85 coffees plus as everything, filter and espresso. It's just a guideline. It's just really a simplification of quality. But in the following slides, you will see usually three offers, and they are also in the same order, right? From more basic coffee to a higher complexity. So yeah, let's move into the first country. So we have Honduras. The first offer I want to recommend is Honduras 135. This is a fully washed processed coffee from Comsa, and is pretty much what you want to have as a basic standard, with all the nuttiness, all the kind of, as you can see there, lemonade, milk chocolate, a silky body, a low to medium acidity, and a really competitive price. At the bottom of all the offers, you will see the FOB price, both in euros to kilos and in pounds to US dollars. The next offer is Honduras 136 from the same producer, but in this case, they use a honey process. So they get both the best attributes from a fully washed and a natural process combined, and resulting in a really juicy body, high acidity, and really, really nice outcome with dry fruits, berries, dark chocolate, and yeah, caramel aftertaste that make it very, very pleasant. Both of these lots are organic, 100%. So if you're interested in organic coffees, those are really highly recommended from Honduras. And then the last offer is the one that I will use personally for a filter coffee. It's a natural process from the producers of Honduran Coffee Alliance, and the producer is Brian Adolfo. And here you have all those tropical fruits, berries, stone fruits, really creamy body, and a really vibrant acidity. And yeah, peach aftertaste. I really enjoy this coffee, and yeah, I would recommend it. This is all-rounded, can be used also as espresso, but really, really impressive complexity. Yeah, so let's go to the next slide. This is Mexico, and sometimes we are looking for Robustas, and we always think maybe Vietnam. And in this case, I really want to highlight the first coffee in Mexico 311. That's a Robusta natural process from a producer called Soconusco. honestly, it's a really great offer lot to add to your blend. So if you want to kick of intensity in your house blend, I would recommend this Robusta. It has all the layers of nuts, spices, cacao, silky, and that sticky tactile of a Robusta with a bitter almond aftertaste. Really, really nice. Also, it's 100% organic, and also it's fair trade, as well as the next one, because they are same exporter. The next one is an Arabica, Mexico 313. That's a fully washed process. Really nice as a single espresso for me. Layers of nuts, a bit herbal, walnuts, black tea. The body is more tea-like, but when you roast it a bit longer, really you bring that silkiness to the cup, and also has a really clean aftertaste. Super, super enjoyable, very sweet. And the last one, again, is a natural process that's called Santa Teresa, Mexico 318. Here is a bit higher complexity, a bit creamier body, really makes it enjoyable for the filter. So yeah, that will be Mexico side. And I would say all of them are available in the platform, so you can always place the order, and we will get the coffee to you as soon as possible. Now we go to Nicaragua. Here, the pattern of blends, single espresso, and filter doesn't happen. Here, all of them have more or less the same qualities. They are fully washed coffees. They are the ones that are currently available to sampling in the platform. So you have Nicaragua 269, Samarcanda from Victoria del Balcón. So this one, I put it in bold, is silkier body. Then next you have Nicaragua 326, Tributo al Origen from Marilec. This has a bit more acidity, a bit more creamy body as well. And finally, from Victoria del Balcón, again, Nicaragua 144, Santa Melida, which has this juiciness. So yeah, let's move into the next one. El Salvador, currently 2 offers available for request samples. Both of them fully washed, both of them from Roberto Moreira, the producer. One called Finca Miramar, a bit more tea-like. This one I would suggest to use as potentially as a combination for a blend. And Finca La Joya, on the other side, it has more creamy, more body. I would say like it could be also a single espresso. Now, Guatemala. We have Guatemala 159, Finca La Presa, fully washed coffee. Again, all you need in your coffee, right? Notes of walnuts, citrus peel, cashew nuts, herbal, silky, bit creamy body, mild citric acidity. So if you don't like acidity so much, this will be a really good option, and a nutty aftertaste. The next one is called Pequeños Productores, Guatemala 125. This producer is Acodiwe. I truly want to make a stop here, and if you have time, please type Acodiwe on the website and look for all the projects that they are making. Unfortunately, the website, I believe, is only in Spanish currently, but probably you can translate. And they are doing great projects with gender equality, with supporting young generations, and I really like this coffee. And as a former roaster, one of the things that pleased me the most, aside from creating a really tasty cup of coffee, was also sourcing and supporting projects that creates a positive impact. So yeah, I just want to make that note there. And finally, we have Finca La Pila from Jorge Guzman. That's also a natural process, and that has all carries that fruitiness that we like, or I like in a filter, right? Layers of tropical fruits, citrusy, green apple, slightly funky, but very clean. Juicy, medium citric acidity, and really that lime citrusy aftertaste, really pleasant, in my opinion. Let's go. What is the next? Yeah. What is the next slides? Costa Rica. Alrighty. So Costa Rica, we have the first one is Costa Rica 246 as Mujeres en Libertad, Women in Freedom, fully washed process. Again, it's an AP 275, in my opinion, is really all you need for to combine a blend, right? So if you're looking for Costa Rica for the house blend, I would recommend this one. It has layers of tea, citrusy, spicy, cacao, like a soft body tea-like, low acidity, and that sugary aftertaste is really, really all-rounded. Next one is, so there is Copé Libertad, the producer. The next one is also Copé Libertad, CR 119. That's a special Central Valley coffee lot. Here it has more like those notes of plum, licorice, almonds, like kind of like reminds me those sugar that reminds me of purple fruits. Creamier body, a bit higher acidity, red grapes aftertaste. Both of them also are fair trade, and also they have the Rainforest Alliance certification. So if you're looking for all those certifications, those coffees provided. And finally, we have CR 307, that's Dota Catuai. This is an aerobic and natural process. Really, really complexity here. Dry fruits, plum, fig, milk chocolate, creamy body, medium citric tartaric acidity. That anaerobic natural process remind me a bit those winey notes and raisin aftertaste. So also, if you're looking for a really nice filter from Costa Rica, I will suggest that. And that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Gracias, Pablo. This is again my favorite part of the platform that what we do. The lab is my favorite spot to be. So if you have questions about any of those offers or any other offers that we have listed on Algrano's platform, please put those in the Q&A. I mean, it can be as broad and general as you want, and it can be as specific as you want. I really want this call to be kind of like a group consulting call where you have access to all of the people on our team who know all of the information about these coffees. So if you have a question, roasters, about, hey, I'm thinking like I need to find something that's going to be really good for filter. I want it to be unique and different. Ask that in the Q&A. We're here to answer those questions. So next, we're moving on to the platform demo with Cecile.
Thank you. Can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
All good. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, let's have a look at the platform. So I'm not going to show you all the features because we want some time for the Q&A, but I'm going to show you how to browse for some coffee and also give you some tips. And also get you through the checkout process to explain you every steps and make sure that everything is clear to you because you might not be used to browse coffee online. To start with, I would like to mention two important things with Algrano is that we don't work on a spot basis. So, you know, we talk about forward buying. So all of the coffee, most of the coffee that we sell on the platform is still at origin, and we only move the coffee that is being contracted by roasters. So you can see here 2 tabs, origin and spots. That's the few lots that we have spots. So it happens if a roaster doesn't fulfill his order, for example, or if we have an overbooking, but most of the coffee is at origin. The second thing is also that we work on with a dynamic list. So we don't have a fixed offer list. So what you see on the platform is what we offer, and it changes daily with what the producers add on the platform. If you want to search for some coffees, maybe you took some notes while Pablo was presenting the coffee. So you saw there was like an ID of the coffee starting with the 2 letters of the country followed by some numbers. So you can find this number here. You can see here, here, and you can always type it here in the browse bar if you want to find it easily, or just type any other keywords that are going to help you out. But let's say that you want to browse for Guatemalan coffee. So we'll go here in the Guatemalan category. First thing that you'll see is some key dates and some calendars. So because we all know how important that is to anticipate and to plan not only for roasters, but also for producers. So anticipation is key. As you see here, you can see the offering calendar. So that will be the buying window for this origin. So for Guatemala, it's from February to May. If you click here, view shipments, you will see all the shared shipments that we have scheduled for this origin. So I'm on an account of a Swiss roster. So if you're based in North America, you will see other shipments. But that's very useful to check that before you place your order, to know when is the closing date. You can see here the last date to place the order and when you can expect the coffee to arrive. Then other important things is to tick the samples available. So you're sure that Pablo has some of these samples in the lab because it's better if you can cup the coffees before you order. And also have insured shipments tick. It means that the producer is able to consolidate the coffee and bring the coffee in the shared shipments. So let's try. So yeah, insured shipment is if you want to order less than 100 bags. If you want to order more, we can always do a custom shipment for you. Then here it's good to know how many bags you want. Let's say you want 10 bags. This way we are sure that you're going to see coffees that have enough inventory and also that has a minimum order quantity that is sufficient. Then you have other filters. Oops, sorry. You have other filters on the side of the screen that can always help you narrow down the selection if you are looking for a specific certification or a CS score, etc. Then when you click on the page of the coffee, you have all of the information. So all the basic info about the altitude, the process, the variety, the quantity, etc. You also have the quality report of Pablo that is right here, and some more information about the coffee as well. And if you wish, you can always reach out to the producer himself and send him a message and ask more questions about the coffee. If you want to order samples, click here. It appears in your cart and you can choose green or roasted. And then you continue to shipping, it's free. If you're in North America, it will also be sent from Zurich, but it's usually quite fast. You need just a few days, maybe like 4 days for North America and less for Europe. And let's go back to the coffee. Okay, now we'll have a look at the checkout page. We say we want 10 bags. That will give me the price, FCA. But if I want to really choose all the options, I add the coffee to the cart. Here, I can choose if I want the shared shipment or the custom shipment. In my case, that will be shared because it's a small volume. Then I can choose the arrival warehouse here. So that will show you the warehouses that are the closest to the address that you shared when you created the account. So here, as it's as I said, a Swiss account, I only have the Swiss warehouses. Then payment. So sometimes this payment option makes roasters a bit confused because you're not used to see this, but you can choose to either pay now. So if you pay now, it means that you will have 10 days once you sign the contract to pay for the coffee, or you can use the pay later options. So this means that Algrano will finance the coffee during the shipments because the producer will be paid when the coffee is shipped, but you will have the possibility to only pay upon release and only for what you release. So if you choose the pay later option, you will see this financing line that appears, and you can choose how many days you want after release to be able to pay. And you can also choose your currency depending on where you live. Then the extra, that's where you will choose if you need the quality insurance or not. So the coffee is always insured during the shipments, but you can opt for the quality insurance. So that means that Pablo and the quality lab team will cup the offer. So that's the samples you receive, but they will also cup the pre-shipment and the arrival sample. And if there are any quality issues, you will be fully compensated if you chose for this option. And then the next step, you just add your VAT number, your address for the billing details. Make sure that everything is good, then check and sign and confirm contract. And here you go. The coffee is contracted, and you can then just track your order directly on the platform in your dashboard and reach out here if you need to the amazing support team with Mo, Camila, and Karina. So yeah, that's basically how it works. But if you have any more questions, please feel free to write them in the chats, the Q&A.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, now I share this one. Great. Yeah, thank you, Cecile. Again, that's a lot of information to take in. So as Cecile said, if you have other questions, put them in the Q&A now. Really, the best way to get familiar with this is by spending time on the platform, clicking around. I promise you won't accidentally order a bunch of coffee. So there are many, many things you have to click through in order to actually create a contract and purchase a coffee. So feel free to click through things, add coffees to your cart, and you can go through the checkout process until the last page, and it won't accidentally order your coffee. So do that. It's the best way to get familiar with the platform and see what we have. Also, as we've mentioned, there are new coffees being uploaded to the platform all the time. Especially right now, I think we only have a couple samples from Mexico available, but more will become available very soon. So the more you're on there, the more you see as it updates and the options that become available. So yeah, that was the platform demo. And now I'm going to give you some brief homework. In order to plan your coffee sourcing, you really need to look at what coffees you want to buy. Is there a specific producer you want to work with? Are there processing methods that you want to get, quality cup scores that you want to achieve, or tasting notes that you want to buy? That's, you need to know what you're looking for in order to accurately and efficiently find what you're trying to find. Also, it's really important to consider what volumes you need. Look at your current position, how much coffee you have in your warehouse, in your roastery, in warehouses, and on contract, so you know how much you need to order, what your usage trends are, and your plans and projections for future growth. And you want to look at really what price point you're comfortable with. Prices are up, as Vanessa had mentioned, but volumes are down. So it's important to lock in those contracts now. Adjust your expectations accordingly. As we've all seen in the last year and a half, price volatility is just a thing that is a reality of coffee sourcing now. And yeah, something to consider. So make sure you look at what coffees you want, what volumes you need, and the prices you're comfortable with. So next steps, do your homework. Go to algrano.com and search for the coffees that might meet your needs. Order samples and cup ASAP. Do that. You can do that right now. Another note about the samples is that producers really, really value feedback that we give them. There's a place on the platform directly where you can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if a coffee meets your needs. That's not you saying this coffee is great or this coffee sucks. It's just that you saying this coffee is right for me or it is not right for me. And that information is really valuable for producers because they need to know where to look for the customers that are right for the coffees that they have. So when you order samples, please make sure to submit feedback so that the producers can can be better business people as well. Then order after you receive the samples and you cup them, you want to order your coffees ASAP and then set reminders for container closing dates. All of these, well, Honduras is 5 days early, Mexico is a month later, but otherwise, all of these containers are closing on the same day. So make sure you get your orders in before that and reach out to support with questions you might have. So that is the end of our presentation. What are the questions you all have? Put them in the Q&A, put them in the chat. We'd love to answer everything. It looks like we had 3 questions already in the Q&A. Let's go through those verbally until we get more, yeah? So the first question was Anna, dialing in from Toronto. Hello. Wondering if we work with producers in Panama. Mo, do you want to summarize your answer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so Anna, currently we are not working with Panama as a region, but we are able to offer that as a supply chain service. And for a supply chain service, we need to have at least more than 6 tons. That is at least around 100 bags of 60 kgs thereabout of coffee for us to offer it as a supply chain service. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one kind of critical thing to explain about what Algrano does. So if you're ordering, as we've said, more than 100 bags, we can pretty much like contract and plan a container just for you, a dedicated container from any number of origin countries. However, the kind of pre-scheduled shared shipments that we have, those are on a schedule, on a predetermined schedule. But that allows you to do direct trade, allows you to buy these coffees without having to book an entire container. So yeah, if you have producers you already want to work with, we can move the coffees for you as well. Great. Next question, Jim from Wavelength. Hello, Jim. Mentioned that most U.S. imports arrive through the Annex. Is there an option to have them enter through Newark? Yeah, Mo, you want to answer that one as well?
Yes. So, Jim, yes, most containers will come through the Annex, but we have different warehouses around the US, and we are able to do inter-warehouses. For Newark, that would be New Jersey, right, Kat? I hope I'm not wrong, yes. And we are able to inter-warehouse that, yes.
Yeah, and you can see that. I think it was shown in the platform demo a little bit. When you're going through checkout, you can select which warehouse you want it to end up at finally. It does increase the freight cost, just so you know, just so you're aware, because it has to move farther. But yeah, you can keep a lookout for that and just toggle the drop down and see what your options are. If you do have other coffee in like at the Annex though, you can do consolidated, like you can consolidate your last mile delivery with other coffees you have even from other importers, so that you can decrease your costs by shipping a pallet at a time. Other questions? All right, another question. If I'm working with a couple of micro lot producers, would we be able to transport Mexico to the US? Or is there a minimum number of bags that a producer has to generate in order to partner with Algrano? Vanessa, you want to take that one? 2 to 3 69-kilo bags.
Of course, yes. So we do have a share shipment from Mexico to US. So there is no minimum volume. You can ship as of 1 bag onwards. So if you connect us with the producer, we can reach out, get the offer set up, and the contract done to be shipped in this Mexico share shipment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so if you want to do that, what would be the next step? Should they send an email to support@algrano.com to get that moving?
Yes.
Great.
Correct.
And in that email, you can include I have 2 to 3 bags, 69 kilos. I want to move it from Mexico to US. And what are next steps? And then our team, probably Mo, will take point on that.
Correct. So you can email Maureen, so the support email, including, of course, the number of bags that you want to move. If you already have the contact details from the producer, it's awesome to already share as well. And if you have already agreed at an FOB value with the producer, also important for us to know. And with those informations, we can go to the next steps that we will explain over the email, basically.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, and Cecile just put a link to more information about our supply chain services in the chat, so you can click that and read more about that. Yeah, it's supply chain services is a really great way for you to continue working with the producers you already know. Cecile gave us the whole platform demo. That's kind of our marketplace. So that's where you can discover new producers you might want to work with. But we also offer logistics and financing for producers you already work with. You just need to move the coffee from point A to point B. So that's a perfect use case there. More info. Oh, yeah. Well, Rachel's just talking about World of Coffee in San Diego. So if any of you will be at World of Coffee in San Diego, that's like next week. That's next week. It's coming up. Let us know. Come by our booth. We'll have a huge number of people from our team. Vanessa will be there. I'll be there. Rachel, who's in the chat, will be there. We have more people from sourcing. We have more people from US sales. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. We have a couple events as well that will be happening at World of Coffee. So follow Algrano on Instagram to see all of the parties and things that are happening in conjunction with that. So yeah, any other questions? How about Mo? What is the most frequently asked question you get about Centrals and Mexico right now?
I'll say currently the most asked questions about Central's coffee is availability. I know Vanessa mentioned about some coffees coming in earlier, others coming in mid, and others coming in late. So probably just to put emphasis that roasters can begin booking as soonest as coffees are available. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Wonderful. Oh, another question. Yay. Oh, it's a thank you. Great. Thanks, Jim. Awesome. Well, if there aren't any other questions, we'll close 3 minutes early. Everyone can get off and along with your day, but just make sure, again, order samples ASAP so that you can have time to taste the coffees, and then order ASAP so that you don't miss out on the availability being lower this year. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. I'll be planning another call like this for our next shipments that are coming out. We'll post that on Instagram. So follow Algrano on Instagram to know about all of the webinars and things we have coming up. And we'll see you in San Diego if you'll be there very, very soon. Thanks, team, for sharing your expertise and experience. Y'all are great. And thank you, Roasters, for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.